I'll just have steak and chips.
Yeah.
And then they say, yep, you can't have the chips. You can have it, but you'll have to have a steak and a jacket potato. And
I don't want a jacket potato.
Exactly. Who wants a steak and a jacket potato?
Hello and welcome to The Recipe, brought to you by Filippo Berio. I'm your host, Theo Randall, chef patron at Theo Randall Cucina Italiana. Today I'm joined by the Queen of Gluten-Free, an ambassador for Coeliac UK and an 8-time Sunday Times best-selling author.
My whole life is over. Like, I felt really isolated. I felt like I wasn't included in things because not only could I not eat the food, but people didn't know what to do with me.
She has spent over a decade proving that eating gluten-free should never mean missing out on a great meal.
My recipe books are for people who hate cooking. That's a crazy thing to say, but I'm trying to get people more into it. I'm just trying to make people just see that, you know, it's not a scary thing. It's not a thing where you're told you have to follow a gluten-free diet, your life is over.
Yeah.
Life isn't over. Food can still be something that you enjoy. I want to show even the person who's never cooked in their life, it's not that tricky.
Please welcome Becky Excell. Hi Becky, it's a real pleasure to have you here. This show is all about dishes that have meaning or tell a story. What are you going to cook for us today?
So today I've decided to cook a chunky chicken masala with some rice and some roasted green beans.
Wow, and you can't eat garlic or onion. So how is that going to change in the recipe?
Well, for me, I know that every sort of curry, people would just think, oh my God, no onion. Like that's the base of everything. But I haven't been able to eat them for like 10 years. So I've just got used to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's something that you just end up sort of finding different ways. For me, I can eat leek. So
interesting.
I use leek. I tend to eat the greens of leek rather than the whole of it. But that's kind of the bit that people often throw away when actually it's great, gives loads of flavour. And then I use stuff like garlic infused oil. There's lots of different ways around it. Being gluten-free and stuff and not being able to eat onion and garlic, like, you sort of think, oh, what a pain. But actually it's kind of taught me to embrace other ingredients, enjoy cooking with different things, and just, you know, you have to, because otherwise you're not going to eat anything.
I guess it makes you think more about the end result, and you know, it's very easy to add lots of too many things, but actually it restricts you what you do, but actually in some ways it benefits for your health.
Yeah, and it just opens you up to a lot more possibilities than you actually thought. You sort of, I mean, this is what the book's all about, really. It's not always thinking about what you can't eat. And this is what I always say. We never should think, oh God, I can't have gluten, I can't have onion, I can't have garlic, and for other people, can't have dairy, can't have this. Don't focus and fixate on the stuff you can't have.
Yeah.
Think about all the stuff you can have. Because, you know, I used to say, oh, the list of things I can't have is longer than things I can, but it's not really the case. There's tons of food. There's probably things I've never even tried that I still, you know, I could still try and be like, wow. And that's what I want to do. I want to open people's eyes. I
think what's lovely about your recipes are they're very simple, but they give maximum flavour. I mean, you know, Nigel Lawson has
Oh, don't. I never say it about myself, but if she wants to call me a queen, I'll
flavour queen.
Yeah, I'll take it all day.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I guess I'm very different in terms of most people who have written a cookbook or written multiple cookbooks. They got into it because they love cooking, and that's the whole point of it. But for me, I started writing recipes and cooking out of frustration.
Yes.
It was just like this thing where one day I could eat what I wanted to eat. The next day I'm told you can't have that anymore, and I couldn't eat it. And I can't say that I loved cooking, and I can't say that I absolutely adore cooking now. I do it because I have to. So many of the people that, you know, buy my recipe books, and so many people who just have to follow a gluten-free diet, they don't like cooking either. Some of them never wanted to cook. Some of them are the people who used to eat a ready meal every day. And then suddenly they're told, yep, you can't have that anymore. And you have to, you know, you have to cook for yourself. It's a necessity, otherwise you won't eat.
So when you're writing recipes, you're thinking about that person.
Yeah.
Like, how can I make it look so easy and so simple?
Yeah, genuinely. I always say this, my recipe books are for people who hate cooking.
Yeah.
And that's a crazy thing to say, but I'm trying to get people more into it. I'm trying to make people just see that, you know, it's not a scary thing. It's not a thing where you're told you have to follow a gluten-free diet, your life is over.
Yeah.
Your life isn't over. Food can still be something that you enjoy, and food is more than just food. It's your everyday, it's your socializing and all this stuff. So you need it to be something that you can do, and I want to show even the person who's never cooked in their life, it's not that tricky.
So this recipe is from your new cookbook.
Yeah.
Feel Good Gluten-Free. Well, let's get cooking, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so firstly, let's fry the chicken off.
So with the peppers, you just chop the peppers up, toss them in some olive oil?
Toss them in a bit of olive oil,
Yeah.
and then just put them on the tray and let them cook. This is what I mean, like
It's really simple.
ingredients,
Yeah.
just celebrate the ingredients we can eat. Not sort of always trying to find the alternatives, like I say, rushing down the gluten-free aisle in the supermarket and being like, right, got to have this, got to have that.
Yeah.
It's like just, people often say to me, how do I know this ingredient is gluten-free if it doesn't say it? I'm like, this is obviously gluten-free. We don't need a label on this.
No.
Lots of food is naturally gluten-free. You can see the texture. The texture often comes a lot from ground almonds and stuff as well. So you get that sort of nice curry texture.
So what could you put in if you had a, I'm testing you here.
Yeah.
If you had a nut allergy, what could you put in there instead of almonds?
To be honest, I wouldn't.
Don't put them in.
I just would say don't put them in.
Yeah,
I'd say instead just let the sauce cook down a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would be a problem at all. And I probably would, to be honest, just have a little bit of water maybe.
Okay.
So not much. As you say, just add it as you go. Yeah, a little bit too much. Doesn't matter. Just let it reduce down.
Reduce it down. But then you don't want to overcook the chicken.
No, that's very true. So maybe that's...
Is that? Well, I think that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. The beauty of it, we didn't cook the chicken for too long to start with. We took it off the heat.
So it's a little bit pink in the middle.
One of my biggest kitchen sort of tools is I've got a food thermometer. I love my food thermometer because I'll just shove it into, for chicken breast especially, because I don't want to overcook it. So I'll just shove it in, check that it's about 74, and then I'll know that I'm safe.
A food probe or a thermometer is so important because it actually makes you more confident in what you're serving.
Exactly.
So, maybe you're doing a baked chicken or something. If you've got the thermometer, you know exactly what the center temperature is.
And I say that to people who aren't very confident in their cooking and stuff. I say it's the most important thing to have because you can have confidence. The thermometer doesn't lie, so it makes you a confident cook. And then what we're going to do at the end is we'll just add a little bit of yogurt. So we'll take it off the heat. Yeah. And I'll always say, make sure you take it off the heat, leave it for a little bit. Don't just rush because you're hungry.
Yeah, sure.
Because otherwise, it will taste all right, but it will look split. You want to give it a bit of time off the heat.
Do you think it's good to let things like rest and get the flavour going, or do you think it's just as it is?
I mean, I should probably say yes because resting is always important, but
no one ever
wants to. And often you just want food on the table.
Yeah, sure.
You've got someone who's hungry sitting there like, when's dinner?
When's dinner? Yeah, exactly.
And so, you know.
I can smell it. It's ready. It's ready.
Exactly.
It's not ready. I've got to wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'm a hangry kind of person. I want food when I want food. So for me, I just can't be bothered.
So you got some rice here. So what do you do with your rice?
Obviously, it's in the pan now, but at home, I tend to cook rice in the microwave, which I think is a bit...
What? In the microwave? What, all the way?
Yeah, it's a bit of a different way of doing it, but the reason I do it in the microwave is that my boyfriend is half Malaysian. His mum's fully Malaysian, and when she came over to the UK in the 70s, she couldn't afford a rice cooker, but she does it in the microwave. So we've sort of taken how she does it, and she just always just cooks plain sort of white rice, and we've just added stuff to it. So with this is actually brown rice. So it takes a little bit longer, needs a little bit more. In the microwave, what I'd do is I'd have, let's say, 200 grams of brown rice, 500 ml of water, boiling water. Yeah. And then all I do is add some spices to it. So I add some paprika, some black mustard seeds, fenugreek, some turmeric for colour, and then just put it in about 360 watt, if that's what people's microwaves are. So quite a low setting.
So low setting for how long?
About 35 minutes.
Oh, right. So you really... So
it takes time, but what I say is we put it on at the beginning. Yeah. Then we cook dinner, and it will ping as the food is ready.
So when everyone hears that ping, it's dinner's ready.
Pretty much. That's how it is. So and if you were using like a white rice, it takes a little bit less time. But with the brown rice, you don't want to sort of do brown rice at the last minute. No,
brown rice takes a long time. But it's better for you, isn't it?
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to do with this book is just show people small changes. Yeah. We're not going crazy. I'm not someone who, the book is called Feel Good Gluten-Free. Yeah. And it's not called Healthy Gluten-Free for like good reason. I didn't want a book that was, I never wanted a healthy book.
The word healthy always makes people think it's not going to be tasty.
Exactly. And to me, healthy is a very subjective word as well. And I think of healthy food as being healthy for the mind as well as for you physically. I don't think it's all about, if something is healthy, as some people would call it, but it just makes you feel miserable because
Yes.
you're like shoveling this in, and it's
Wow,
like
this raw carrot, doesn't it?
yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
know, you're having your courgette or
Yeah.
you know, butternut squash noodles or something. It's like, no, thank that. I'm not happy,
Yeah.
and that means it's not healthy for me because it's not healthy for my mind. So that's what this book was all about. It was about, you know, making food that makes you feel good, like feel good inside in your heart, not just
It fills you up.
yeah, it fills you up and makes you happy. So this is pretty much done.
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll just add in a little bit of the yogurt.
Okay.
So hopefully
Just full fat yogurt or?
this is 0% Greek yogurt actually.
Okay.
So I tend to use, in this book I've used 0%, because you're still getting all the good protein from the yogurt, but not the dairy fat. And that allows us to use, you know, more of the sort of healthier fats. So using olive oils and stuff like that, which are where we want to get our sort of fat from, not from the saturated fat of dairy is what I sort of think. Then we'll just stir it through. It gives it a nice colour. I've already roasted some green beans in the oven.
Okay.
So we're going to serve it with that. The recipe actually in the book says that you can either use fresh or you can use frozen green beans, because we actually have a lot of vegetables and stuff in our freezer, because we just quite like to have when you got them. Otherwise, sometimes you don't have them, or you know, things go off. So we have a lot of frozen vegetables. So we just put them straight into the oven on a roasting tin, and do them for about 15 minutes, and it just gives them a nice charred colour. So yeah, that's all done.
Yeah.
So we can serve it up.
Let's eat.
Yeah.
It smells so good. I can't wait to eat it. Yeah.
Tuck straight in.
Tucked straight in. Look at that. Amazing sauce.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's got so much flavour.
And there's no onion in that.
No.
So, and let me know what you think of the rice, because it's done in our own special way.
You know what? The rice is really good because it's got a little bit of a bite to it. I love rice that's got a bit of texture.
Yeah, I completely agree. There's nothing worse than like soggy, overdone rice. It's one of my pet hates. So
The peppers and the leeks have just sort of blended in really nicely. It's not, you don't get each ingredient. It just comes sort of nicely all together.
I think that's what I always think about good food, is that you can't ever taste too much of things individually. You want it all to just become something really special together. With this book, I've sort of wanted to be very veg forward. So as many places that I can just get in, encouraging people to have some beans. And I like a green bean.
So you're quite, the great thing about the book is it's all about accessible ingredients. You know, you can buy all these ingredients in a supermarket. I mean, do you have like a kind of like limit? I mean, obviously there's lots of ingredients you want to put in things that are kind of hard to get, but do you sort of say to yourself, right, I'm not going to put that in the recipe because it's just, it's one, it's too expensive, and two, it's very hard to get hold of.
100%. Like for me, it's also a bit of a selfish thing. I don't want to have to be searching around for ingredients or buying expensive ingredients that then I have to test the recipe 20 times and then I have to keep spending out on that and, you know, having to look for it and stuff. I just want easy stuff. And I know that my audience want that as well. No one wants to be, you know, faffing around and like, oh God, this huge list. And, you know, some of the recipes do have a decent list, but it's all just store cupboard stuff. It's stuff that everyone could have, or if you don't have some of the spices, I think that that's one of the most important things that I want to encourage people to have, is a good spice cupboard, because a spice cupboard can transform very humble ingredients into something really great.
Well, the point is you've got it there, so you can go up to the shop, you know, buy some chicken, buy some green beans, buy some peppers, which you can buy in most places. And then you can put something together very, very quickly. Well, I mean, how long did this take from start to finish?
It's sort of almost a 30, 40-minute meal.
Yeah.
It's not a long time. And obviously you can keep it. You can have leftovers the next day. It's just simple, hearty cooking that, you know, I would bet that a lot of people who first, you know, they go gluten-free, they're not someone who cooks very much, and they wouldn't expect that they will be able to make this. And I'm sort of just wanting to show them that you absolutely can. It's not, they would probably think, oh, that's probably a jar of sauce. And so I don't want people to be using jars of sauce. No. I want people to be making this and realizing, you know, a jar of sauce probably doesn't have that much goodness in it, a lot of sugar and stuff. You can see everything that you put into this. Yeah, I mean,
you buy a few red peppers, some leeks. Yeah. You got the tomato passata, you've got all the spices.
Yeah, there's nothing extra.
There's not much else in it.
No.
So therefore you could actually make a whole batch of it.
Yeah.
And freeze it.
Yeah, which is nice.
And then, you know, cook the chicken defrost it, and then add it to the sauce.
Yeah.
Add it to the chicken rather, and then make it up. I mean, it's,
And that's, like I say in the book, I've got other curry sort of sauces and stuff. Ones that, you know, I roast a whole load of carrots and then I blend them into a sauce and stuff, and it bulks it out, so it keeps it cheap.
hidden veg.
Hidden veg.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that too much, because I love that. I love people getting all the textures and stuff, and I don't think that, you know, people are always saying with kids, you know, hide veg, and I guess if they're not going to eat them otherwise, that is good. But it's nice to get all the texture in there. But in these sort of things, you're getting extra nutrients and stuff into a recipe that otherwise you wouldn't.
Yeah, and it's obviously fibre, and it's good having, you've got the protein there as well, so you want to have had those extra things.
Exactly.
So what age did you realise you were a celiac?
When I was about 18 years old, I was at university, and I was really struggling with a few things. I was struggling with gut issues. I was struggling with fatigue. I was just feeling rubbish. And, you know, first year at uni, wanting to be enjoying yourself.
Sure.
So I went to the doctors, and for some reason, one of the first things they told me was like, "Why don't you try giving up gluten?" So, as the
this was just on a whim. They just
pretty much on a whim.
Yeah.
And you know, you, especially when you're 18, what the doctor says, you do. You just think, well, why would they say anything different?
Yeah.
So I did that. Started to feel a little bit better. Went back to the doctors, and they said that now they were going to test me for celiac disease. But I didn't realise at the time, but if you're tested for something like celiac disease when you're not eating gluten, you can't get an accurate test. So I just decided, you know, to live as a celiac without that rubber stamp on my medical record, because I didn't want to reintroduce it, because I'd have to reintroduce it for about 6 weeks every single day. And when you're at university, you don't want to be feeling rubbish every single day. I wouldn't have been able to do my degree or anything. So I just, ever since then, ever since I was 18, I've just lived this way, been super careful. And at first it was, like I said, it was really frustrating.
Yeah.
And I just, like, my whole life is over. Like, I felt really isolated. I felt like I wasn't included in things, because not only could I not eat the food, but people didn't know what to do with me. So like my friends at uni would go out for food and I wouldn't be able to go with them. And it was a really tough period, but I kind of transformed that into a positive, I guess, with what I've created since then, and tried to show other people the same thing, that, yeah, I get you. I know that it can feel very overwhelming, very like, oh my God, life is over. But it's really not.
But you're kind of a natural ambassador for celiacs. I mean, I know you did a petition to the government, the Coeliac UK.
Yeah.
Do you think our government and this country, and I guess, you know, supermarkets and shops actually give enough attention to celiacs?
Not in the slightest at all. I think the petition that we did to the government, you know, I stood in front of number 10 Downing Street and stuff, and we showed the petition to them and everything. We spoke to people, but what's come of that? Very little. And it's a real shame that they just don't seem to understand the importance and the fact that for most people it's not a choice, and it's something that they have to live with for the rest of their life. I speak to a lot of people in my community. I'll do a book signing or a meet and greet, and I get lots of really young kids come along, and I always say to them, "Oh, how do you find school?" And they say, "Oh, you know, at lunchtime I'm made to sit on my own."
Oh,
and you hear these things.
I mean, that's psychologically
or they'll be told that they have to sit on their own, or they always have to have packed lunch. Their friends have a cooked lunch.
Yeah.
And then their friends, because they're only 6, 7 years old, some of their friends will come over and say, "Why is he sitting on his own?" And it breaks my heart. It does.
Yeah.
Every time I hear it.
I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, we live in a society now where everyone's got some allergy or something."
I hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every day. But is it just because we're more aware of it, do you think? I mean, there's always been these issues.
Yeah, I think especially with celiac disease, I think it's that there's greater awareness. Yeah. Like, that's something that I've been trying to do for the past 13 years or so, is push the awareness.
Yeah.
And, you know, pushing people to get tested. People don't realise that, you know, maybe having a stomach ache, or even just having, it can be really random. The symptoms are crazy. Like, it can be, people do just think it's sort of a gut-based thing, but it can be fatigue. It can be having a mouth ulcer, even things like that. That could be a sign that you have celiac disease.
God.
So there's a hell of a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And that awareness, I don't think, was there, 15, 20 years ago. So I think now that it's there, obviously there's going to be an increase in people inquiring, increase in people being tested. But there's still, I think in the UK, it's 500,000 people who don't know they have celiac disease, but they do have it. So they're probably sitting around struggling with symptoms, thinking, why do I feel like this? What is this? And they have no idea.
And do you get stressed out? Like going out for dinner, it's very easy. Oh, let's go to, this restaurant, this new restaurant,
Yeah.
and you go there, and you think, well, the last thing you want to do is feel ill.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
I must admit, I don't love going out for food, just because I find it stressful. It's not what it used to be. Ring the restaurant beforehand, check with them. When I get there, check again. When it comes to the table, check. When the food's delivered, are you sure?
You sure? Yeah.
Because you get this anxiety.
Yeah.
Because I've had situations where I've been to like a chain restaurant where they've brought me over a pizza, and I've looked at it, I'm like, I've had many. I know what the gluten-free one looks like. It doesn't look like
they
this.
look like
They're
usually flat.
Yeah, exactly. We don't get the nice like fluffy crust and stuff. And I've said that, and they've gone, oh no, it definitely is. It's the one that we have
Chef
now.
says it's gluten-free.
Yeah. You start eating it, and then someone rushes over and goes,
don't eat it.
Yeah, don't eat it. And it's like they don't realise how serious that is.
Yeah.
And especially with the onion and garlic as well. Like there might be a good gluten-free menu these days, but when you suddenly say to them, oh, also I can't have onion and I can't have garlic, they'll be like, oh, well, you can have that, but we won't have the sauce. So often my option is steak and chips with no sauce. Do I really want to be spending huge amounts of money on that? And do I want to do that regularly? No.
But also, steak and chips, something as simple as that. They could have fried something in the fryer that had flour in.
Yeah.
And people don't realise that if you've got flour in the oil, it's going to affect you, isn't it?
I've been to places where you thought, oh, well, I'll just have steak and chips.
Yeah.
And then they say, yeah, you can't have the chips because of them being fried with something else, like onion rings.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you can have it, but you'll have to have a steak and a jacket potato. And
I don't want a jacket potato.
Exactly. Who wants a steak and a jacket potato? That plate, I've had it come before where I've had a steak come with a jacket potato and it's still wrapped in some foil, and that was what came to my table. And I was just like, what is this?
That's poor. Yeah.
It was such a poor experience.
You have a very important role. I mean, and no wonder you've got 8 times bestseller, Sunday Times bestseller, because you're feeding a community.
People say to me all the time, how have you come up with that many recipes?
Yeah.
But the reality is that whilst I've come up with the recipe at the end product, the recipes themselves I haven't come up with. My audience are who funnels me what they want. I just say to them, guys, what do you miss? What have you not had for 20 years? What was, when was it the last time that you had this? Do you miss it? And they'll go, yeah, I really want that. And they'll tell me all the things. We're a very nostalgic community.
Yeah.
We think about those things that we had once at school that we've never been able to have since. Like in this book, one of the recipes I have fig rolls. Yeah. Fig rolls, I remember when I went to the photo shoot, like the team were just like, why have you fig rolls? That's a bit weird, it's a bit random. And I was like, yeah, but I've had people for years message me like, I haven't had a fig roll for ages. I've really missed them. And I just want to be able to bring that back. I want to bring back the joy to people and make people feel like they're never missing out, because you really don't have to.
Do you ever sort of like put out a post saying, what should I do next?
Oh, all the time. I literally did that yesterday. And yeah, it's I wouldn't be here without my community.
No, of course, yeah.
So for me, I always listen to them.
Yeah.
They it's a very sort of two-way relationship. It's not like just me talking to them, me producing recipes and them just doing them. Like I speak to them every day and they speak back to me. We chat all the time. Like there's people that have followed me for 13 years. Wow. And they're still there, and it's a really important sort of dynamic that I keep doing what they want. I do what they tell me.
Yeah, I mean it's very easy just to think, oh yeah, it's fine. You're a best-selling author, but you've got all these people asking you questions. You need to respond to them.
Yeah, it's this thing, like I've got groups online where people ask me questions all the time about the recipes, about just everyday life being gluten-free. They might be new to being gluten-free, and like I'll be up till 11:30 at night replying to these people, just making sure that they are okay, because I know what it was like when I was sort of first going gluten-free. I knew nobody else who was gluten-free. I didn't really know what gluten was back then. And I found it very overwhelming. So when I see someone message me and say, I'm struggling with this, or I don't know what to do about this, like I can't leave them hanging. I need to tell them, I need to help them. And I think the community generally is great at that. And I've always tried to be like a central point to that community.
So what would be your top tips for someone who's just, discovered that they're celiac or have a gluten intolerance?
I think firstly, just don't worry. Don't think that it's the end of the world. I think if you think it's the end of the world from straight out, I did. I think of a lot of my advice is from past experience of what I did wrong. I would say that don't always just think that you have to rush to the free-from-aisle in the supermarket, because I think it can be very quick. You can be very quick to sort of go to the free-from-aisle, just load your trolley and be like, oh my God, I spent hundreds. Try it all and then be like, oh, it's not that great. I've just wasted all this money. And it just feels very overwhelming. Realise that there's lots of things in the supermarket that are naturally gluten-free. So you need to learn to read packaging, reading ingredients labels and stuff like that's really important. And just find some good recipes.
And cook, essentially.
Yeah, cook. I think you have to learn that even if you don't love cooking, you just have to accept you need to cook from scratch. If you can cook from scratch, you'll save yourself money, you'll save yourself time, and you'll actually realise I can still have all those things that I used to have, and probably they taste a hell of a lot better, and are probably a lot better for you as well. Yeah,
of course. Just before we wrap up, I want to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
So a little quick fire round. So what would your last meal on earth be?
I mean, that's a big question.
It is a big question.
I think my last meal on earth would be my mum's lasagna.
It's always your mum's, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's nothing, not anything against my mum. It's nothing special.
Yeah.
It's just, you know.
I bet it is.
No, she's just, I think it's just like chopped tomatoes with some mince and then a white sauce.
Yeah.
And then it's, you know, it's just layered up. It's just good. When my auntie used to come to stay, she would call us before she was coming, and she didn't come very often. She'd be like, can mum make her lasagna? And like when my brother used to be at home by himself, like when my parents went on holiday, my mum would leave him a lasagna in the freezer and have a note on it like,
put it in the oven for 30 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. It's that recipe, and it's I don't know, I'm such a nostalgia person. It just reminds me of
it's comfort.
It's comfort, and comfort food is everything to me. So yeah, mum's lasagna.
Amazing. What's your guilty pleasure snack?
A big lump of cheese.
Big lump of cheese.
I love cheese. Ever since I was a kid, I think I've got this from my dad. I just used to see him downstairs sometimes just cut off a slice of cheese.
He's like me.
Yeah, honestly. And I used to also, I think it's my mum and my dad. I used to see my mum cutting off a slice of cheese and dipping it in some salad cream and just eating it. And I mean, to me...
Love salad cream. Oh, yeah.
So, and that was such a thing. So, to me, just... I can just sit there. If I'm making something with cheese, I'll just get a sharp knife and start slicing it and just eating a little bit and eating another bit. And
any particular cheese?
I just like a really extra mature cheddar.
Yeah.
just
Cheddar's a great cheese.
It's simple, but you know, an extra mature cheddar does the job for me.
It's a great snack.
Something really crumbly. You know, you have those little sort of bites in it of like crunchy bits and stuff. And
if you cook for one person, past or present, who would it be, and what would you cook for them?
That's hard, because ultimately I've gone down a very family orientated thing today, but I would probably cook for my grandma, who I didn't call grandma, I called her Oma, because I'm half South African.
Oh.
So we just always called her that because that's what it's called in South Africa. But she died when I was about 13, 14. So at that point, I'd never cooked anything.
Yeah.
But she was like my absolute world. Like we would do a lot of stuff together. She was really flamboyant. She wasn't like an old person grandma. She was cool. She wore, you know, bright colours and just had a great life. And I think she'd be super, super proud of everything that I've done. I just love to cook something really nice. But I don't know what I would cook.
What did she like to eat? Do you know?
She liked anything sort of luxurious and creamy. I think I'd if I was going to make her stuff, I'd probably just make her something like a really good carbonara.
Yeah.
And then because we're going all out cream, I'd make like a Basque cheesecake and just.
Of course, yeah.
And that combination, she'd probably be like overwhelmed with creaminess, and we'd have to have a nap afterwards. But that would be okay. And I to be honest, like it would be very easy for me to say, you know, I cook for David Attenborough or Nigella. I'd love to cook for Nigella because, you know, obviously, but ultimately, my Oma would be my number one because I'd just love her to try my food and tell me what she thought. So.
Well, I'm sure she's very, very proud of you in heaven.
I hope so.
Becky, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for coming on.
Oh no, thank you. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Recipe with me, Theo Randall. You can find Becky's full recipe on the Filippo Berio website at filippoberio.co.uk/Theo. Be sure to order a copy of her new book, Feel Good Gluten-Free, for more delicious gluten-free recipes. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and share the podcast wherever you listen. Until then, happy cooking.